why couldn't the green pepper practice archery?
Peppers don't have arms. I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
Because it didn't have an arrow.
Play on words. Have an arrow.
Yeah,
habanero.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
This week's garden joke is brought to you by Rescue.com. American-made rescue products keep your family, home, and yard protected from pest insects like wasps, hornets, yellow jackets, flies, ants, and more. Learn more at Rescue.com. That's RESCUE.com.
So we're going to discuss seed starting. Now, yes, we are in the late portions of summer, early portions of fall, and you don't normally start, talk about seed starting. That's a January conversation. Well, that's true. But our program does not grace your airways until March. So I figured this was a good time in order to discuss some of the things in which we would recommend, advise from our experience what works best for seed starting, so you can take notes and revisit this program via podcast or however you're doing such, and be able to be more successful at seed starting next spring.
Right. So the first thing you want to do is you want to find a location that is away from children and pets or anything that might get to your seeds, and that it's going to take up some space for a couple of months. Like, for example, where the studio is in zone 5. Zone 6.
It changed this year.
That's right. We start some seeds as soon as January, like onions.
Onions and leeks, yeah.
So, and then we don't put them in the ground until like April-ish. Mm-hmm. So it does take up some space among other seeds that we start a little bit later. So this is something that you might want to keep in mind. It might be something that you're going to use the space for a while, and you don't necessarily want to have it be, a nuisance or a problem.
Something you're tripping over all the time. Now, we start, like you said, leeks and onions in January, about the middle of January where we're at. Because of the transition of the USDA moving our growing zone a little different, a little higher, we may hold off a couple of weeks. But we take and get our seeds from jungseed.com. That's JUNG seed.com. Coupon code 10TG24. And we take grow bags, 1 gallon grow bags from rootmaker.com. Coupon code. There's a lot of coupon codes. You can find all that under the money tab at our parent website, the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com. We take 1 gallon grow bags from rootmaker.com. Coupon code root24 to save 15% on your order. And we fill them with good potting mix, or you can use, we've done it in compost, but we use a good standard potting mix, and we plant our seeds in that. And we keep them under a grow light. And we do not plant them in cells or peat pellets or anything. The reason why the 1 gallon grow bags have been so essential to us is the onions and leeks have the opportunity to root all the way down that grow bag. The grow bag's only about 7 inches tall, 6.5, 7 inches tall. And then you let them grow. And at the time that you're going to transplant them out, they are just a lush a bundle of onion starts. Now, we take 250 seeds and plant in a 1 gallon grow bag. Yes, that's a lot. And we don't use all of them, no, but we have the success in which many of them do very well. And it's just this blanket, this hundreds of onion starts in this 1 gallon grow bag that's 6.5 inches tall by about 6.5 inches wide, in good fertile compost or potting mix. And the benefit to that is you can put it in a 10 by 12 flat and bottom water, and that wicking action will take place through the grow bag up into the onions and leeks, and you don't have to top water, and they get as much water as they need. You can find you can find all these videos at the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com. You can search in the upper right corner, starting onions, starting leeks, chickpeas, whatever. We've got 2,000 videos there.
Right. So you want to think about light.
You don't have to have a grow light. It does make a difference.
It does make a difference, but we started seeds. We have a west-facing window. We started seeds for many years without a grow light, utilizing that west-facing window. We would at times rotate the plants, or the seedlings, whatever you want to call them, the starts, and that would help them have an even grow, They would pull towards the light every day. But you can use just a window. We like using a grow light. We use a Happy Leaf LED grow light, and I would just highly recommend considering getting a grow light because it does help you have consistency.
Yes.
Yeah, basically.
Not required, but does help.
So we kind of talked about like the size of the container with the onions.
Yeah, but was it the label? We got to label these
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, you want to label them. So just because you're growing sweet peppers and hot peppers and you're like, I'm going to remember this for sure.
Leeks and onions look the same.
Yeah, a lot of stuff looks
cauliflower, broccoli, kale all looks the same. All your tomatoes look the same. Now, what we found with the tomatoes, we've done it a very simplistic way. We take a marker, you can some type of item, whether it's wood or a plastic window blind, and you cut the size. B for beefsteak and C for cherry, and we just go with it. We don't say this is an early girl, this is a black crim, or this is a mortgage lifter, or this is a
now,
plum.
if you're only growing a couple different varieties, then I would say that, you do want to label. That's just our system. But for example, I grew what's called a goth garden this year, and I only marked certain plants. I didn't mark all the plants, and then I kind of forgot what some were. So
what?
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I'll kind of remember this. And I think I might have taken a picture, but I don't know. And I think I accidentally deleted it. So, of the seedlings, like what I planted. So it's not a huge deal for necessarily for flowers unless you are,
designing a certain
way. I just was trying this for the first year, and now I have some experience and know kind of what I want to do next year. And, yeah, but I did get sunflowers like very, very early because I started them inside, which was kind of cool.
So you keep your plants watered. If they dry out, it damages the cell wall and makes the plant more susceptible to issues. So if you are in a seed tray, a 10 by 20 flat, and you're using a root maker grow cell, an 18, 32, 64, 72, 128, whatever it is, or you're getting the ones from your garden center, you don't want to top water your plants because it will blow the seeds out. Top watering is you're just sprinkling the water after you've planted your seed, and it can disrupt the depth in which your seed is at. You can bottom water, set them in that tray, and in capillary action will wick the water up into the individual cells and hydrate them that way. It also is benefit to start with hydrated potting mix or seed starting mix. But at some point, you may have to top water. So you take a paper towel and you lay across your seed trays. This is in the instance that you have nothing that has germinated yet. And then you can water through the paper towel. The water will drip through the towel onto the top of the seed cells and not disrupt or blow out the seeds in which you've just planted if you are dealing with seed starting mix that is not as hydrated or moist as you may want it to be. And you can leave those paper towels on top of your seed trays until the seeds begin to germinate. It acts just as a mulch, and you can continue to water through. After the first watering, the paper towel will become a crusty. It will crust over a little bit and hold a lot of moisture in. So keep that in mind as well. And let's touch on no heat pad.
Yeah, so a lot of people think that you need a heat pad for starting pepper seeds specifically, but that's kind of a myth, especially if you aren't growing like in a basement or a non-climate controlled area, or if you're growing in a climate controlled area. Like, for example, ours is in the main portion of our house. We're not in a basement or like an attic, so it's about 68, 70 degrees in the winter time and then spring. So that's fine. That's fine for your seeds. Heat pads are not necessary for that. If you are growing in a basement or an attic or a greenhouse outside, then you might find that necessary.
Use the heat mat until the seeds germinate, and then take the heat mat off of it. We're wanting a horticulture grade heat mat. We don't want to use a heat mat that you use for your legs or your aching muscles because, number one, those aren't very good, and number two, if you buy the new ones, they've got safety features that they shut off after a certain period of time. So, and if you get them wet, you could have issues. And a horticultural grade heat mat is designed to regulate the temperature to a certain area that has a thermostat on it in which you can control the heat in which you put into your seedlings. Well, that's a good down and dirty way of talking about seed starting. Again, you can go to the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com in the upper right corner underneath next to the magnifying glass and type in seed starting, and it will take you in journeys and places on the website that you will have endless fun and knowledge to learn. Walton's Inc. also has a plethora of products in which you can use not only for spicing and seasoning your food, but for butchering out what may be a successful hunt this year if you're one of those individuals.
We are brought to you today by our sponsor, Walton's Inc. We know you care about where your food comes from. Now you want to think about, the meat parts, especially as we move into a lot of more meat harvesting season. And Walton's has everything you need to make the equipment for seasoning and supplies to make sausage, jerky, and any other meat product your way to your high standards. You want to make snack sticks that people will actually like? You can go to meatjuststicks.com, and they have an informational site of over 15,000 users to help you get the best finished product. They use Excalibur seasoning, which is professional grade seasonings that you can purchase, and they have everything from meat grinders, mixers, sausage stuffers to help you go from animal to edible. That's waltonsinc.com. The code is GROW50 to save 10% off your orders of $50 or more.